Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show how to create AWS S3 Presigned URL for uploading and downloading files in Python using Boto3 library. First off, we'll start creating a folder for the project. S3 Presigned. I will create a new virtual environment. We'll open this project using PyCharm editor. I have selected the folder. Apparently this new project which I opened is not configured with any interpreter. We'll add a new interpreter and choose the existing environment for it. And the interpreter is successfully configured. We are now ready to start with. First of all, I will create a new requirements.txt file. And add Boto3 as a dependency. This is the only dependency which we will be requiring, and I'm installing the requirement. We got Boto3 installed. I'm going to now create a new main file and start writing the code. First off, I'm going to import Boto3. Here I'm going to use the session Boto3 session for using the profile which I have already configured. Session equal to Boto3, and I'm going to choose the profile name as the profile name which I have already configured the access key and secret key of AWS IAM credentials. Using this session, I'm going to create the S3 client. I'm going to create the new bucket for storing the files through this code itself. Say I'm defining a new method, create bucket, which will be creating the bucket. S3 client dot create bucket, and the bucket name would be code possibility dash presigned. It is going to print the response. Maybe I will store this name in a variable since I may be using it frequently. Okay, I'm going to call this method to create the bucket. I'm going to run this file. As you can see, the success response printed here, which we can verify it while logging in the console and going to the AWS Amazon S3 folder. I now see the bucket has been created successfully. As of now, it doesn't have any objects here, which is empty. Going back to the code, I'm going to create a new method for creating the upload pre-signed URL. S3 client dot generate presigned post URL, where I'm going to pass the bucket name, S3 bucket name, and I'm also have to pass the object name which I'm going to upload. Say I create a variable name, object name, test upload file.txt file. This is the file which I've already created. I'm going to use the same for uploading. And then we can specify any conditions required or not. Here I'm going to just specify the expires in attribute, which is set to 3600 seconds, which means this pre-signed URL will expire in an hour. I'm going to print the response. Print the response. File upload. I'm going to call this method now. I got the response in a dictionary format which contains the URL of the bucket and the fields which we have to pass in our post request. What I'm going to do is, like, I'm going to use this values using the postman. I'm going to create a new request body. This is going to be a post method, and this is the URL. And we have to pass these fields in the body itself. Here I'm choosing the form data body and selecting this key and their value. Okay, and then finally I need to pass the file object which I'm going to upload. This is going to be a file type, and I'm going to select the file. This is the file which I have created locally, and I'm going to use this for uploading. I'm going to send this request, and we have received a 204 no content response, which means the successfully uploaded, which we can verify it by coming back to the S3 bucket and refresh the bucket and see the file has been successfully uploaded and stored in our bucket. We can now proceed with creating an download URL. I'm going to create a new method for file download. The format is just same, like using the S3 client dot generate presigned URL, which takes the parameter like client method, which is going to be the get object, and then we have to pass a params dictionary, which itself contains the bucket name, S3 bucket name, and the object with the key as key object name, and then we have to mention the expires in is set to 3600, which is an hour. I'm going to again print this response. I'm going to call this method now. File download. I'm going to execute this method now. Which responded me an URL which is supposed to be a pre-signed URL to download the file. I'm going to open this URL in the browser and see the file downloaded successfully. Hope this might have helped you. Thanks for watching.